Hey everyone, it's the one and only magnificent bird, Beak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a couple of different things in today's video. I'm going to briefly go over the NFC and AFC championship games, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about the official Super Bowl 60 matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. This is, of course, going to be a rematch of Super Bowl 49. So, something's got to give. Absolutely. So, one of these two teams is going to add another Super Bowl to their collection. And we'll talk a little bit more about it. But first, of course, if you like the video and all that great stuff, go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, and all that great stuff. Alright, I'm just going to cut the intro kind of short just because I already know this is going to be... I don't want to make this video too long. Alright, so first up, before we talk about football, and for those of you that just want to go ahead and skip to the football portion of the video, I will leave the timestamp somewhere on the screen as to the start of that segment. So if you don't want to hear about me talking about changing things up on my YouTube schedule or my experience with this winter storm, that's cool and all. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and leave the timestamp as to me talking about the football games. So it'll be somewhere on the screen. So let's kind of go ahead and get through this. Okay. If y'all watched my last video where I talked about where I was going to change up everything and just as far as Heavy Rain Part 2 and then the Red Dead Redemption 2 Part 18, I believe it was, I had moved those out of January originally because when this winter storm hit the East Coast, and it's still affecting a lot of people, obviously, I thought I was going to lose power. But fortunately, I didn't lose power, but I got stuck. And so I bailed. I got out of Dodge. But today is technically Wednesday, but on Tuesday, I decided, okay, where I was going a little stir crazy, and I'm like, I gotta get the fuck home. So, on my way home, most of the roads, they weren't bad. It was pretty smooth sailing, I'm not gonna lie. There were some spots, but I just took it nice and easy. But the problem is, when I got to the neighborhood that I live on, the issue was to get up to my neighborhood, I have this big ass hill that I gotta go up, right? And under normal circumstances, that's not an issue, like big whoop. But of course, the neighborhood hasn't been scraped. It hasn't been plowed. Nope, not at all. I tried to get up it. I wasn't going very far, so yeah, I had to walk the rest of the way home, but at that point I was like 95% home anyway. And I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not going back. Fuck it. I'm going to walk the rest of the way. And I thought I was going to slip and bust on my ass, and I didn't. There was one or two close calls, but I got home, and yeah. And so now I'm home, and I'm back to my regular routine, and I can start doing shit on YouTube now. Great. Now, as far as Heavy Rain Part 2, originally I was going to have that for January the 24th, but again, I'm going to be moving it again. Originally, I was going to have it for, like I said, January 24th, but then, due to the winter storm, I was going to have it the first week or the first weekend of February, but since I'm now home and I'm back to my normal routine, I'm going to have the second part of Heavy Rain. That's going to be premiering on, I'm thinking January 30th or January 31st. Yeah, I know the 31st. I don't know. I was thinking about January the 30th instead of on Saturday, but I might go ahead and have it on the 31st, the last day, or the second day of the month. But yeah, unless something changes again, Heavy Rain Part 2 is going to be premiering either Friday or Saturday this week. And Red Dead Redemption 2 Part 18 would premiere on the following Saturday. Damn, February 7th? Is that right? Yep, that's right. Okay, because I'm looking at my calendar. That's so yeah. Heavy Rain Part 2 is going to be on the 30th or the 31st. So that's a little bit of good news. I was able to bump that up. And yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about NFL, shall we? So let's talk about the AFC Championship game just briefly. We had the number 2 seeded New England Patriots going up against the number 1 seeded Denver Broncos, where the number 2 seeded New England Patriots beat the number 1 seeded Denver Broncos by a score of 10-7. I know, not a very exciting game, not a whole lot of points. I get that, but that game literally was about whichever team makes the fewest amount of mistakes is going to win that game, and that's exactly what happened. Because I don't recall New England ever turning the ball over against the Broncos. Now, I would have to go back and watch the highlights, but I'm pretty sure they never did. So that was something that Drake May and that offense was able to actually improve upon, because yes, they had turned it over against the Chargers and the Texans, but going up against the Broncos, I don't believe they turned it over once. So that was an improvement. That was good. Now, Drake May, he didn't even throw for 100 yards in this game. He was 10 of 21 on passes for 87 yards. It might have been 86 yards. No passing touchdowns, but Drake May more than made up for that with the running game, where Drake May actually had a rushing touchdown, their only touchdown of the game. So yeah, this is something, I'm sure y'all might agree with this. I know this is going to sound insane, but just hold on. Drake May is definitely a better running quarterback than Tom Brady. I didn't say quarterback. I said Drake May is a better running quarterback than Tom Brady, because no, Drake May is not fucking Tom Brady. Let's get that clear. But I can say confidently that yeah, Drake May is better at running as a running quarterback than Tom Brady, because if you've seen games where Tom Brady was still in his prime, it golly, no wonder why Tom Brady never ran it all that much, because it looked like he was running like an old man. It looked real bad. Example, here's a random game where the Patriots played the Eagles. I think it was a regular season game, and they created a play where one of the receivers threw it to Tom Brady, and you just look at his leg work. Nah, Tom Brady, he most of his career, obviously, he stuck to passing that football. That's what he was best at. Definitely not running the football, that's for sure. And the Broncos, let's see. So no, New England, they had missed a field goal, but then they hit a field goal. And let's talk about the Broncos. So yeah, the Broncos early on in the game, they actually go up 7-0, and then they stop the Patriots offense. They get the ball back, and for whatever reason, Sean Payton decides to have the Broncos offense try to go for it on that 4th down and 1 instead of going up 10-0, and that was the difference maker. Well, that wasn't the only difference maker, but the Broncos made more mistakes than the Patriots, and the Patriots capitalized and got the dub. And now they're going back to the Super Bowl for, I believe, the 12th time in their franchise. Damn, hell yeah. New England back in the Super Bowl? Hell fucking yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, was it the prettiest of wins? No. But did it have to be? No, not necessarily. Now, do I see New England doing that in the Super Bowl? Nah, I think they'll be a lot better in the Super Bowl as far as, because, come on, they're going to be in California. There's not really going to be any weather that's going to make them struggle like that. You got what I'm saying? So yeah, New England, they were able to take advantage. Denver, they missed a field goal. The Broncos, they went for it on a fourth down where they shouldn't have, and then at the very near the end of the game, Jarrett Stidham throws a deep pass to Christian Gonzalez for an interception, and I'm like, yep, there you go. Goodbye, Denver. That was the ticket right there. And New England is able to hold out for that 3-point win against the Broncos. Now, if Bo Nix would have been playing, I believe Denver would have actually made it tougher to win. If Bo Nix would have been playing, I wouldn't have been surprised if Denver would have won. But he got, unfortunately for Denver, he got hurt. So I'm like, yep, Denver's chances are, yeah, they're done. They're absolutely done. And yeah, let's talk about that. The weather. So the first half was pretty clear, pretty cold, but then they had pretty much like a little mini blizzard going into the fourth quarter, which I thought that was cool. I thought that was badass. Like, yeah, this game, very low scoring, reminded me of one of those old classic NFL games, very defensive heavy. Most people might not like that nowadays, and that's fine, but I enjoyed the hell out of it because you don't see those games all that much anymore. Not really. So it was a nice surprise to see that type of game, and the weather really affecting both teams, but New England was able to make the least amount of mistakes. So there you go. New England is going on to the Super Bowl. Now, I did watch the NFC Championship game, but I was like paying less attention to it. I do know there was a lot more scoring going on. I believe the final score between the number 5 seed at Los Angeles Rams and the number 1 seed at Seattle Seahawks, I believe the final score was 31-27, so a lot more high scoring. I know people are going to say, yeah, that was the way better game because it had more points. And to keep the audiences, to keep their attention, the audience's attention, sure, it's better in that aspect because you got both of the offenses moving up and down the field and scoring points. I get that. But I know I might be sounding a little bit biased here, but I actually enjoyed the AFC Championship game more just because we had a defensive struggle, and Denver's defense was really good, but again, they made too many mistakes. And with the NFC Championship game, there was pretty much barely any defense. And see, more people are going to gravitate toward that. And hey, I get that completely. Watching two offenses go back and forth on the scoreboard can absolutely be a hell of a good time. It absolutely can be, for sure. And in the end, Seattle was able to overcome with a 4-point win, and they go to a Super Bowl once again. Damn, that's crazy. Here's something crazy. Sam Darnold is going to be in a Super Bowl before Josh Allen. That's fucking wild. Who in the fuck would have ever thought that Sam Darnold, who was awful with the New York Jets, who is now with a clearly better team with the Seattle Seahawks, is going to be playing in his first ever Super Bowl, and Drake May is going to be playing in his first ever Super Bowl. That's wild. So Sam Darnold has a chance to silence the doubters and win his first Super Bowl, and the same with Drake May. He has an opportunity to silence his doubters. And I know, most of America is going to be rooting for Seattle because the Patriots, they have that reputation, right? Of, oh, they're cheaters. They had a Mickey Mouse cupcake schedule, blah, blah, blah. They didn't play anybody. Really? New England didn't play nobody to get to the Super Bowl. Are you serious? How about when they played Buffalo? When they played Baltimore? When they played Tampa Bay? They played the fucking Broncos. But yet they didn't play nobody. Well, here's the thing about that. I'm sure all 32 teams at one point in their franchise has played a fucking easy schedule. And here's the thing, Buffalo, guess what? Buffalo, they played a very similar schedule to us, but you don't hear that same passion about, oh, Buffalo's got such an easy schedule. You don't hear that, though. It's all, oh, Buffalo's better than New England. No, they're not. Buffalo fucking sucks. Buffalo sucks. They're not better than New England. No. Because look where New England's at, and look where Buffalo's at. You know what? Even if we lose against the Seahawks, even if we come up short against the Seahawks, you know what? I look at this season as a fucking win. We made it further than the Buffalo Bums. I mean the Buffalo Bills. Excuse me, that bum word just whew. Now, you know what? That bum word didn't come out accidentally. Now, Buffalo, they are a bunch of bums. And Josh Allen will never win a Super Bowl, not with the Buffalo Bums. He won't. If he goes to another team one day, he might have a shot. Maybe. It certainly ain't going to be with Buffalo. And you know what's crazy? Is there's a lot of Buffalo Bills fans. So, because of Josh Allen, obviously. But what's going to happen if Josh Allen decides that he wants to go somewhere else? Are those Buffalo Bills fans still going to be Buffalo Bills fans? I doubt it. And I'm not talking about the actual diehard fans of Buffalo. No, let me clarify that. I'm talking about the ones that have just, over the last 4 or 5 years, have jumped on Buffalo's bandwagon. I'm talking about those fans. Are they still going to be fans of Buffalo if Josh Allen decides to go ahead and go to another team, to try to win a Super Bowl? Are they just going to bail when Buffalo's bad? Because I guarantee you, without Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills, they're going to be bad. They will. Josh Allen is practically the only reason that Buffalo is even relevant right now, to be honest with y'all. So, as much as I do not like Buffalo, I gotta admit, right now, Josh Allen is their best player, without a doubt. And when, because you never know, did we ever think Tom Brady would ever leave the Patriots? He did. So there's a chance in the future, not anytime soon, but you never know, he might get tired of Buffalo's shit and decide, you know what, I want to go somewhere else where I might have a legitimate chance to win at least one ring in my career. Yeah, the moment that happens is the moment Buffalo is going to suck. I guarantee you. But, yeah, so Super Bowl 60, oh man. You know what, I'm really looking forward to this one. Mike Vrabel, he should absolutely win fucking Coach of the Year. There's no doubt about it in my mind. For the simple fact that Mike Vrabel was able to come in and turn around a 4-13 Patriots team to go 14-3 and go to the Super Bowl in his first year as the head coach in Drake May's second year. I mean, that is impressive. I mean, even if the Patriots don't win the Super Bowl, this is still going to be a very, very successful season. Abso-freaking-lutely. And it's going to be interesting to see, can the Patriots win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? It could happen. So it'll also be interesting to see if Sam Darnold can finally win a Super Bowl. Obviously, I'm not going to give my prediction yet. I need some time to think about this one because, I don't know, a lot of people are just assuming, Seattle's going to dog walk the Patriots. Not necessarily. No, I think this game will probably be pretty entertaining. Because I don't see, sure, the Patriots' offense has struggled against the Texans and Broncos, but that's due to weather-related issues. They're going to be in California. There's not going to be no snow and sleet and all that, no wintry mix. So, hello, it's going to be, I'm pretty sure it's going to be clear skies, so I think this Patriots offense can absolutely put up 30 points, or close to 30 points, absolutely. I feel like, and I hope this is going to be a very entertaining and close Super Bowl. I think the Patriots will be able to score because they won't have no wintry mix to deal with. I think they will be able to go ahead and put some points and go tit for tat against Seattle. Now, Seattle's defense is pretty good. Don't get me wrong. But, I'm not really going to give a prediction right now, so something's got to give. Can the Patriots win their 7th Super Bowl, or will Seattle win their 2nd Super Bowl? Hopefully it'll be a good game, and sure, on paper, Seattle's offense has looked more impressive than New England, but let's just hold on the assumptions that, yep, that's it. Seattle's going to blow them out. Not necessarily. Yeah, I know last year's Super Bowl was a blowout, but do we really think? Do we really honestly think that the NFL is going to produce two Super Bowl blowouts in a row? I just don't see it. Because if they do that, they're going to lose audience. They're going to lose people from watching because they'll be like, oh, another Super Bowl blowout. They're like, well, this is boring. I just don't see it being a blowout. No, I think this is going to be closer than people are thinking. Hey, when these two met the last time in the Super Bowl, it was pretty close. It was a 4-point game. So we'll see. I'm not going to give my predictions yet. Obviously, I'm going to make a separate video on that and all of that. And yeah, Mike Vrabel should absolutely win Coach of the Year. And I know Drake May is a front runner for MVP. But you know what? Drake May, he's got a chance to win a Super Bowl. If I was him, I would rather, if I was Drake May, I would rather want the Super Bowl ring than I would MVP, to be honest with y'all. To be completely honest, I'd say, yeah, fuck MVP. I got a chance to get a ring so early. I got a chance to get a Super Bowl ring in my career, early in my career. I would rather have that than MVP. Because, yeah, sure, Aaron Rodgers has won a couple of MVPs. Okay. Where's all his Super Bowl rings at? Sure, Aaron Rodgers, like I said, he's won a couple of MVPs in his career, but okay. I would rather trade all those MVPs in for Super Bowl rings, to be completely honest. Who else is in running for MVP? I think Matthew Stafford. Yep. If I was Drake May, I would say, yeah, go ahead, Matthew, you can have MVP because I have a chance to win a Super Bowl. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm going to really think about this prediction because y'all might think I'm just going to automatically pick the Patriots. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. But no doubt in my mind, if there's any year that Mike Vrabel should win Coach of the Year, it should be this year. Absolutely. For the incredible turnaround that he made happen, that he was able to achieve. Absolutely. There no doubt about it. Hands down, Mike Vrabel should win Coach of the Year. No other coach comes close, in my opinion, anyway. But, yeah, I think that's all I got to say. I just want to say congratulations to both the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks for making it to Super Bowl 60, and hopefully it'll be an entertaining game, unlike the one last year, which, hey, I enjoyed watching Kansas City get their ass whooped, but for the majority of people, yeah, it was a boring Super Bowl, just because Kansas City didn't have a chance, right? But anyway, let me know what you think about all of this, and let me know your Super Bowl prediction and who you think. Do you want to see the Patriots win their 7th Super Bowl? Do you want to see them win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? Or would you like to see Sam Darnold win his first ever Super Bowl? Either way, one of the two quarterbacks is going to be winning their first ever Super Bowl. It shall be interesting. It shall be interesting indeed. Now, I know, Wednesday when I'm recording this. I'll try to get this out on Wednesday. And like I said, Heavy Rain Part 2 will either be coming up Friday on January 30th or January 31st. And yeah, I'm back to a normal slate and back to my normal routine, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye, guys.